Right. Now, brethren, then blessed good night, blessed good evening, I should say, to you all loved on as we get into this thing. What we are dealing with here in chapter 7 is an introduction, right? So what you will get is an introduction to chapter 7. The chapter in itself, Daniel chapter 7, is divided into 3 parts. We have Daniel 7, 1 to 14, one part, Daniel 7, 15 to 18, and then we have 19 to 28. So it is a section of that way. And in that division, we take a general overview of it. Because this same general overview will come up when we go to the other chapters. 7 and 8 go together. 7 is a still shot, like you're taking still shot photos, a digital camera. Chapter 8 is a motion picture. It's moving, like it's alive. To give you a clearer and more positive understanding of how you are to be before the living God, as the judgment is soon to come upon those that are living. So a general overview in line of the divisions of the chapter into these 3 parts. So the first general overview we must notice in the chapters, in the chapter itself, right, is that the deeds of the 4 kingdoms and the papacy ends in retribution after the judgment. That is what we will see. That's one of the key things that we'll see. You see all the doings of the 4 kingdoms. You didn't see that. You see same kingdoms in chapter 2, but they didn't give all this detail. One gave detail pertaining to one other situation, but it was vague to those who, have not understood it yet. It will sound very vague and confusing. So this retribution upon the papacy and upon these kingdoms ends after the judgment. Daniel shows us this, right? So before we get into these things, I would like us to start a reading, because if we don't get through all of this evening, we could always do a part 2 of the introduction and the general overview. So we're looking at verses 1 to 28. We have them to divide it. We have to divide it, and it will be divided in 1 to 14, 15 to 18, 19 to 28. It is important. Same thing with chapter 8, same thing with chapter 2, where the prophecy itself, end time prophecy, is very prolific. So let's read Daniel chapter 7. Sorry, my mistake. Daniel chapter 7 from verse 1. It says, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the 4 winds of heaven strove upon the great sea, and four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. And the first was like unto a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given unto it. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said, And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl, and the beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and exceeding and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the other beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. Right. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in that horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the ancients of days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. 10,000 ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. Judgment was set, and the books were opened. I beheld them because of the voice of the great words which the horn speak. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their lives prolonged, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. I saw in the night visions, and beheld, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the ancients of days. And they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that spake, that one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he said unto me, so he told me, and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts which are 4 are 4 kings, which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High will take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Then I would know the truth about the 4th beast, which was diverse from all others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other that came up, which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his feathers. I beheld, And the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the ancients of days came and judgment was given in favor of the saints. That is the emphasis there of how the Aramaic is written. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings which shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the face, and he shall subdue 3 kings, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a times, and the gathering of time. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. Hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart. So there you have it, what Daniel saw. Now notice, as I said, this vision troubled him, just as it didn't trouble him when he was interpreting or telling the king his dream and interpreting it for him. That is what we will take cognizance of, because this is much to digest. So again, we will not rush through, we'll take our times and get the understanding both from the Aramaic and the Hebrew and the Greek, to be prepared and ready, no matter what falls. Maybe falls, be prepared and ready. Right, so I want to come back now to the general of these 28 verses that are scattered and set apart. It says, general overview, and when it shows the general overview is the deeds of the 4 kingdoms and the papacy ends in the retribution after the judgment. So this is a very important thing to see. So just as it already there, as you already there, look at look at this same chapter 7, look at 10 and 11. 10 and 11 tells us the reward. Okay? Verse 10 and verse 11 says, a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. That is what we have here. The judgment was set and the books open. Wow, what a scene. What a wonderful scene. So, seeing that the retribution these were done by these nations, all the iniquity, all the wickedness, now it is being closely monitored by adults who should know better. Not a lot of us don't really know what we are about. This is so, this judgment and the retribution. This is so because the Most High reigneth in the kingdoms. That is a given. He ruleth in the kingdoms of men when they place themselves on a pedestal that they don't need to do. So Daniel, rather go far, but we know that we can look at this one so much because we understand that God does this planet belongs unto the Father, and He does rule. He does rule in truth. Second point I would look at, the center of the chapter is the necessity of the judgment. The center portion of this chapter is the necessity of the judgment to inherit the kingdoms. Though everybody wanted to say a little prayer and be thankful and get a very blessing, the purpose of it is for inheritance. Inheritance, that is what you want. You want to be settled and one perfectly. Ready? Now we can take it how the scriptures are set to show how the judgment is. All right? So in chapter 7, as we are here already, 9 and 10, 13 and 14, 18 and 22, and then 26 and 27. Let us look at that. This is the necessity of the judgment for us to inherit this kingdom. Verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the ancients of days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. His throne was like a fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. That is hundreds of thousands of angels. Let us look at 13 and 14 now. I saw in the visions, the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, right? Which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Going on, that's in the same chapter. Then we have verse 18. In verse 18, in a general statement, the angel is saying, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. That is what we are sure of. And then we come down to the meatier part of it. Look at verse 22. Let us read verse 21. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them, until the ancients of days came, and judgment was given in favor of the saints of the Most High. Right? And the time came that these saints possessed the kingdom. 26 and 27. But this judgment that was set and given in favor of the saints, it says here, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and destroy it unto the end. Wonderfully, wonderfully done. Verse 27 is the same, so that is a clear, accurate understanding that is there for us. Let us look at point 3. The third point, the key ways for future exposition to lead to the high points of the book of Daniel. The key ways will be 7:26 and chapter 8, 8 to 14. That is what you'll get. So let us look in at the key verse. The key verse has to be in relation to this same chapter, Daniel chapter 8. Daniel chapter 8, verse 14. It says thus. Therefore, the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken. And for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. I want to come off the reservation and leave things that we're then going to work like that. So as you go down in this verse, 8 says, therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken. That's Alexander the Great. And for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. And out of one of them, this is the winds, not out of one of the horns or one of the heads. This has to do with the things that are shortly come to pass. And out of one of them came forth a little horn which was exceeding great toward the east, toward the westmouth, toward the east, and toward the pleasant. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the hosts of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself, even to the prince of the hosts. Right? Into the prince of the hosts. And from him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of the sanctuary was cast down. Beautiful. And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and it prospered. Then I heard one saying speaking, and another saying said unto that city, until when will be, I'm quoting it as it is in the Hebrew here, right? Until when will be the vision? Until when will be this great vision? And consider which include the daily and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot. And he said unto him, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. That is the grace that makes you what you are. That is the set of graces that makes us what we are. Very profound. I don't know if you all notice, sometimes you may stumble onto some these little groups that are dealing with prophecy right now. And you've never seen these graces from 8 to 14. these 6 verses being discussed or somebody giving their interpretation of it. What you will see, you will hear about the Maccabees, and it's 1,150 sacrifices, which is half 2,300, and all measure of foolishness, and everything stems straight back. All of that stems straight back from the papacy, because it's futurism and futurism trying to cancel out historicism. So through all of that, here it is, this will say, along with 726, which we read already, is open for much exposition. And as we go along, much exposition will be done on it, and we will go in to the nooks and crannies of it. As the general overview goes on, it says, this judgment, as it points to something here, it says, it is the Son of Man, Jesus Christ, that comes to judge. In 7, you can look at that in Matthew chapter 25. Turn with me to Matthew chapter 25, we're looking at from verse 31 to verse 34. Matthew 25, 31 to 34. Here we go. So Matthew chapter 25, verse 31 to 34 says, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divided all his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. So this part here that I will give not much exegesis on, but exegesis is needed. When the Son of Man cometh in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. So here it is. When the Son of Man come here to the earth the second time? No, he come to judge. That is his point. He's coming to judge. Look at it right here in chapter 7 now. We're looking at 13 and the 14. 13 and 14 says, I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the ancients of days, and they brought him near before him. So the clouds here are the angels. When Christ stated, he said, when the Son of Man cometh in the glory of his kingdom with his holy angels. But the same statement here, you can't put it no other way. So all who reject their salvation as condemn themselves. Sad. He seen the judgment, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. Very imperative, very wonderful. So this can be explored further as we go further down into the book, as it deals specifically from 7 on to chapter 12, deals specifically with the pre-Advent investigative judgment that is to come upon the whole world. To add to that, we can look at let us look at John 5, the Gospel according to John, chapter 5, verse 22 and verse 27. This is the chapter where Jesus is speaking about he being made judge. The Gospel according to John, chapter 5, verse 22. And then we can look at verse 27, 26 to 27. It says here, for the Father judgeth no man, but hath committed all judgment unto the Son. So here it is, God is not the judge, but according to how the order of revelation of the Godhead goes. The Father is judge, but he's not the judge. That's how Christ will judge us. That office is set up, the mediator, to specifically make accurate judgment, because God came down in a temple of simple human flesh and faced fierce temptation. So we have the example. Verse 26 and 27 says, for as the Father hath life in himself, so hath he given to the Son to have life in himself, and had given him authority to execute judgment, also because he is the Son of Man, meaning he's the anointed of God. So who God anointed is who God will make judge over the human race at this present time. So these are some, we have other scriptures here, but I don't want to go too long tonight. There's only 4 of us. But take that Matthew 25 from 31 to verse 34, keep it. Very wonderful. Daniel himself, right, in Daniel 7, and it is shown, Daniel 7 is not an isolated chapter. Here are some examples. It is not, it cannot be an isolated chapter. It cannot. If you look at, let's take into Babylon, according to Daniel 2:38, Dower the head of gold. But in chapter 7, verse 4, chapter 7, verse 4, and the first was like a lion, and he had eagle's wings. I beheld till the thrones of the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a bear, and a man's heart was given unto. So we know that is Babylon. So the things are not vaguely similar, with a deep clarity also. In the same chapter 2, you'll find medes and equations in Daniel chapter 2, the Aramaic, Daniel chapter 7, verse 5, the Aramaic, Daniel chapter 8, 3, 4, and 20. You will get those things. And then you have Daniel 11, 2. So all these scriptures directing us to the mysteries of the prophecies. And don't get despondent. I understand this thing where I can make it. I will go and study something else. It is really imperative to get it right. The Greeks, we find them in Daniel chapter 2, verse 39, and also Daniel 7, verse 6. Very much so. Then we come to the dreaded creature that cannot be named and cannot be identified until. Right? Daniel chapter 2:40, and then Daniel 7 and 23. Daniel chapter 2:40. Two verse 40 says, and the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron break in pieces and subdue all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and shatter. That is our given. That is our given. And that is Rome. Rome, that is the Roman Empire. 7. Turn back now to chapter 7. Daniel 7, 7 and 23. 7 tells us, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, and it devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the vessel with the feet of it, and it was diverse or different from all the other beasts that were before it. And that is important to us to see. Come down now to verse 23. Thus he says, the angel is telling Daniel, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all others, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. This is wonderful. Just we have the history of Catholicism as well as the history of its theology. So we deal with that. Look, we have the 10 horns, which is in Daniel 2:41 and 42. The 10 horns. The European nations, or the European Union as it's called. Right? It says of the judgment. The nations, we know what they are, who they are. And then we have of the judgment, which is in Daniel 2:44. Daniel chapter 7, of course. Daniel chapter 8:14. And Daniel chapter 12. And we add one more to it, of the eternal kingdom. The eternal kingdom. So this gives us an overview of, or a general review, just a general review of how Daniel chapter 2 is written. It is pregnant with a lot of information. So that is important for us to understand. Even the part with the eternal kingdom, Daniel 2:44, 7:14, 18, 22, and 27. Even the eternal kingdom. So we don't have to go through all of that. The saints must inherit this thing. References also to the papacy is strongly introduced into this chapter 7. Some people have their way to preach, some people have the other. What works well for you as a spirit guide, follow. Follow suit. Follow, you will get it. So I just want to run through these here, and you'll see parts. It can only be pointing at one kingdom, or one church at least. It says this. Where am I? Oh, yes. Chapter 2, 42 and 43. Strong influence of the papacy, something not unique. And whereas thou sawest, I'm going from this 41, sorry about that. And whereas thou sawest the feet and the toes, part of potters clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron. For as much as thou sawest the iron mingled with my clay. Wonderful. And out the deeper verse 40 now, and as the toes of the feet, the part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And wheresoever thou seest iron mixed with my clay, then they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. For the the nutritionists of what you're eating and how it goes. So, brethren, it's the same set of scriptures we went around, right? But each one of them intensified. Chapter 11 has the greatest concentration against Roman Catholicism and its the papacy and its philosophy. So this young warrior that God has given graces to can go forward and share with you all, and we can be warriors, well organized, well going forward, glorifying. This by Thursday, by the grace of God, when we get into all the verse, every verse is to be monitored. You're exhausted, you're taking a five, take your five. And once something is diametrically opposed or against whatever it is, so that's how it goes. All right, so what I will do here is show, as I said, the same set of lessons. So as we go on, you will see it as we go on. As I change the chapters, finish off chapter 7 and change to chapter 8, questions will be asked because they're looking the same, it's sounding the same, but that is not what it is about. That is not what it is. So, brethren, I will stop here. If you all have any questions, just start the recording. Okay, there.